Hey guys, Dylan here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some color grading that I did and show you guys a project that I worked on. I'm going to be showing you the color grading I did from beginning to end. On screen, you can see the finished product. I'm working in DaVinci Resolve right now, very powerful color grading software. And then if I go back to the beginning, you'll see that it's all gray and dull. So this footage was shot on the ARRI Alexa 35, a very high-end camera. It shot several movies, shot the biography of Bob Marley and another 2024 film, The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling, stuff like that. So this footage, pulling it in DaVinci Resolve like I mentioned, and then I'm going to be creating lots of nodes. And so you may or may not be familiar with nodes, but it's basically just layers, kind of like Photoshop layers or layers in any other Illustrator type of program. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit for us. So what I'm doing right now, I've moved my last node and named it let. I like to use my lookup table at the end that brings my footage from whatever color space into Rec 709. I know that I'm going to be exporting out to the Rec 709 color space to common TV, stuff like that. So that's why I'm choosing to do it this way. So as you can see, just by adding that let, it does add some color, but still very dull. So now I'm going to go through, I'm going to go through these nodes that I've created. I'm going to start labeling them. Always got to label your layers. I'm a big advocate of labeling layers. So right now on screen, I've actually also pulled up the reference footage that I want to recreate as far as the look and the color. Gives me an idea of how saturated or how bright, what I want something to look like. At Chuck E. Cheese, very colorful and very bright is the MO. So you'll see that as I continue to work. So as you can see, I'm actually on the second node right now. I haven't labeled it yet, but I am changing the exposure. That's what I like to do first. I like to have the first node as just the original, and then each node is going step by step. So it's applying all of these effects in a step-by-step fashion or a linear fashion. And so the reason I chose to do the LUT at the very end is because I have more room to work with up front in a 444 color space. And so it's gonna give me a lot more flexibility and room to work with compared to Rec 709, which is my finished product, which is why I like to grade for the LUT. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit more. Oops. Went too far, didn't I? Alright. So I've labeled my exposure and I'm going to label the curves. I like to do it one at a time, a lot of my effects. That way if I want to go back or if I need to go back or do anything, it's not only nice and labeled, but I know exactly where everything is. I do it one step at a time. I don't like to double down, do multiple effects in the same node. I also like to do it in a certain order because things like exposure, things like curves are going to be affected by the exposure and vice versa. So it's like an order of operations type of thing. For the tint and the hue, I like to I mostly just go off skin tones for this. Cameras are always going to be different. Sony always leans green, so I usually add a little magenta. I always like to do a touch of magenta, and then on my temperature, which I haven't got to yet, I always like to do a touch of orange. I want to make sure those skin tones look really nice. Blonde girls with fair skin, a little harder to work with, but this camera is wonderful and I have plenty of room to work with. I don't want them to look too red, like their face, the blonde girls. These girls are very nice, have a nice complexity of their skin, very nice color. It looks like it's as simple as that. This is just a really basic color grade. I didn't end up doing any masks or anything, so let's say I did want to go in and I decided that these blonde girls had too much red in their face. I could go through and make a mask and lower the reds, bring up the orange is typically what skin, it's like a nice tan color, but always want to make it look natural. But I didn't end up doing any masking in this this video, but it was just a great, pretty simple, but straightforward, step-by-step walkthrough of what I do for color grading. Thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you in the next one.